August 13th, 1958, 11:30 p.m. Graceland was quiet, most of the staff and guests having gone home for the night. Elvis Presley stood in the living room, unable to sleep, restless with anxiety about leaving for Germany in 2 days. He'd been drafted into the U.S. Army, and despite Colonel Parker's attempts to get him a cushy assignment stateside, Elvis would be shipping out to serve overseas like any other soldier. But what really kept Elvis awake wasn't the military service. It was his mother. Gladys Presley was upstairs in her bedroom, and she was sick. Really sick, though she kept insisting she was fine, that it was just a summer cold, that Elvis shouldn't worry about her. But Elvis could see the truth in her yellowed skin, her labored breathing, the way she winced when she thought nobody was looking. Elvis had wanted to postpone his departure, to stay home until his mother recovered. But Gladys wouldn't hear of it. "You go serve your country, baby," she'd said. "I'll be fine. I'll be right here waiting when you come home." Now, standing in the empty living room at nearly midnight, Elvis made a decision. If he had to leave his mother in 2 days, if he couldn't be here to take care of her while she recovered, he wanted to give her something. A memory. A gift. One final performance just for her. Elvis went upstairs to his mother's bedroom and knocked softly. "Mama, you still awake?" Gladys's voice came through the door, weak but warm. "Yes, baby. Can't sleep?" "Me neither. Can I come in?" "Of course, honey." Elvis entered to find his mother sitting up in bed, looking small and fragile in her nightgown. She smiled when she saw him, the same smile she'd given him since he was a baby, full of unconditional love and pride. "Mama, I want to do something for you," Elvis said. "A private show. Just for you, nobody else. Will you come downstairs?" Gladys looked uncertain. "Baby, it's late. I'm not feeling so good." "Please, Mama, I need to do this, for me as much as for you. Let me help you down the stairs. We'll make it comfortable for you." Elvis helped his mother downstairs slowly, carefully, supporting her weight as they descended step by step, feeling how much lighter she'd become, how fragile. In the living room, he arranged cushions on the couch to make her comfortable, brought her water and a blanket, adjusted the lighting so it wouldn't hurt her eyes, made sure she had everything she needed to be comfortable for what he planned. Then Elvis positioned himself in the open space of the living room, the same space where he used to practice his moves as a teenager, where he'd first shown his parents the hip swinging that would make him famous and controversial, where he dreamed of being a star while his mother watched and encouraged every step. "What are you going to do, baby?" Gladys asked. "Everything," Elvis said. "Every song I ever sang that you loved, every move that made you laugh. This is my show for you, Mama. My thank you for everything you've done for me." Gladys's eyes filled with tears. "You don't need to thank me for anything. Being your mama is the greatest joy of my life." "I know," Elvis said, "but let me do this anyway." There was no band, no backup singers, no elaborate staging. Just Elvis, his mother, and the music they'd shared throughout his life. Elvis began with Old Shep, the song he'd sung as a child in a talent contest, the song about a boy and his dog that always made Gladys cry. Elvis sang it a cappella, his voice filling the quiet house, and Gladys cried just like she always did, touched by her son's ability to convey emotion through music. For the next 2 hours, Elvis performed an entire concert for an audience of one, the most important audience of his life. He sang every song that had ever meant something to his mother, every melody that connected them across the years. Gospel songs from their Assembly of God church days in Tupelo, Mississippi, when they had nothing but faith in each other. Songs like Peace in the Valley and How Great Thou Art and I Believe. Songs that connected them to their faith, to their roots, to the community they'd come from before fame changed everything. Then he moved into his hits, the songs that had made him famous and brought them wealth beyond their wildest dreams. He sang That's All Right and Hound Dog and Don't Be Cruel and Jailhouse Rock. He performed them with full energy despite the late hour and empty room, dancing and moving and giving his mother the same show he'd give to thousands of screaming fans because she deserved nothing less than everything he had. Gladys watched with joy and sadness mingling on her tired face. Emotions she tried to hide but couldn't. Joy at seeing her son so talented, so alive, so full of the energy and charisma that had changed their lives forever, that had taken them from a two-room shack in Tupelo to this mansion in Memphis. Sadness, because she knew, even if Elvis didn't fully understand, that this was likely the last time she'd see him perform, the last time she'd hear his voice singing just for her. Between songs, Elvis talked to his mother, sharing stories about the songs, about the recording sessions, about the fans and the fame and all the craziness that had become their life since 1954. "Mama, you remember when I first sang, 'That's All Right for You'? You said it was different, that people might not understand it." "I remember," Gladys said, her voice soft. "But you believed in it. And you were right to believe." "I believed because you taught me to believe," Elvis said. "Everything good about me comes from you." Elvis sang "Love Me Tender," the song he'd dedicated to his mother when it was released. Gladys cried through the entire song, not from sadness, but from the overwhelming love she felt for her son, for this boy who'd grown into a man but still needed his mama's approval, still sought her love above all others. Around 1:30 a.m., Elvis took a break from performing, his voice needing rest, his emotions needing a moment to settle. He sat on the floor beside the couch where his mother rested, taking her hand in his, feeling how cold her fingers were, despite the warm August night. They talked quietly, the kind of conversation they'd had countless times over the years, but which felt different now, weighted with unspoken knowledge that time was precious, that moments like these couldn't be taken for granted. "Are you scared about Germany?" Gladys asked, her voice barely above a whisper. "A little," Elvis admitted honestly. "Not about the army part, not about the training or the duties, about leaving you, about not being here if you need me, about being so far away and not knowing how you're doing." "I'll be fine, baby. Your daddy will take care of me, and you'll be home before you know it. 2 years goes by fast." Elvis took his mother's hand in both of his, holding it gently. "Promise me you'll take care of yourself. Promise me you'll see doctors if you're not feeling better. Promise me you'll rest and eat and do everything you need to do to get well. Promise me you'll be here when I come home," Gladys promised, though both of them knew deep down that promises couldn't control illness or fate, couldn't stop what was already happening inside her failing body. "I promise, baby. Now sing me some more. Sing me that new song you've been working on. The one about not being able to help falling in love." "Mama, that song isn't even recorded yet. We're doing it when I get back from Germany." "Then sing it for me now. I want to hear it first before the rest of the world." Elvis sang "Can't Help Falling in Love" for his mother that night, a song that wouldn't be released for 3 more years, a song that would become one of his most beloved recordings. But the first person to hear it was Gladys Presley, sitting on a couch in Graceland at 2 a.m., listening to her son sing about love and fate and surrender. When the song ended, Gladys was crying again. "That's beautiful, baby. That's going to be special. Everything I sing is for you, Mama. Even when I'm on stage in front of thousands of people, I'm really singing for you." By 2:30 a.m., Gladys was exhausted, her strength completely depleted by the emotional evening. Elvis could see she needed to rest desperately, needed to get back to bed and sleep. But before he helped her upstairs, he wanted to sing one more song, the most important song. He chose "In the Garden," a gospel song they'd sung together in church when Elvis was a child, when they had nothing but faith in each other and dreams of something better. This time, Gladys sang with him, her voice weak, but still carrying the beautiful tone Elvis had inherited from her, harmonizing with her son the way she'd taught him to harmonize all those years ago when he was just a little boy with a big voice. Mother and son, singing together in the quiet house at 2:30 in the morning, creating a moment that existed outside of time and fame and everything else that had complicated their lives. When the song ended, they sat in silence for a long moment, neither wanting to break the spell. Then Gladys spoke quietly, her voice filled with love and something that sounded like goodbye. Elvis, baby, I want you to know something. Whatever happens, wherever you go, I'm proud of you. Not because you're famous or successful. I'm proud of you because you're kind, because you love people, because you never forgot where you came from. That's the boy I raised, and that's the man I'm proud of. Elvis was crying now, really crying. Not the performance tears of a song, but genuine emotion. Mama, I love you so much. I love you too, baby, more than anything in this world. Elvis helped his mother back upstairs with infinite care, settled her into bed gently, kissed her forehead the way she'd kissed his when he was a child, and told her to sleep well and dream of beautiful things. Gladys held onto his hand for an extra moment, not wanting to let go. Thank you for the show, baby. That was the best performance I've ever seen. Better than Ed Sullivan, better than any concert. That was just for me, and I'll treasure it forever. When I come back from Germany, I'll do it again, Elvis promised. A bigger show, better songs, everything. This was perfect, Gladys said. This was everything I needed. The next day, August 14th, 1958, Gladys Presley collapsed. She was rushed to Baptist Memorial Hospital in Memphis, diagnosed with acute hepatitis. Elvis stayed by her side, refusing to leave, begging the doctors to do something, anything. But it was too late. Gladys's liver was failing, her body shutting down. On August 14th, at 3:15 a.m., less than 24 hours after Elvis had performed his private concert for her, Gladys Presley died. She was 46 years old. Elvis was inconsolable. He'd lost the most important person in his life, the woman who'd loved him unconditionally, who'd sacrificed everything to help him pursue his dreams. He blamed himself for not recognizing how sick she was, for not forcing her to see doctors sooner, for not somehow preventing the inevitable. But in his grief, one memory provided a small comfort. That last night, August 13th, he'd given his mother a final gift, a private concert just for her, 2 hours of music and love and connection. The last time she'd seen him perform, it had been entirely for her. A show with an audience of one, the most important audience he'd ever have. Elvis served his time in Germany, but he was never the same after his mother's death. Friends and fellow soldiers said he was haunted by her loss, that he talked about her constantly, that he blamed himself for not being there when she needed him most. But he also talked about that final night, the concert he'd performed just for her. I gave her everything I had that night, Elvis told a friend in Germany. Every song, every move, every ounce of energy. It's like I knew it was the last time, like some part of me understood I was saying goodbye. When Elvis returned from Germany in 1960, one of the first things he did was record "Can't Help Falling in Love," the song he'd sung to his mother that night. Every time he performed it afterward, he thought of her, of that moment in the living room when she'd heard it first. Years later, when Elvis performed at huge venues to thousands of screaming fans, he would sometimes pause and remember that the best show he'd ever done was for one person, his mama, in the living room at Graceland at 2 a.m., 2 days before she died. The story of Elvis's final private performance for his mother wasn't widely known during his lifetime. Elvis was private about his grief, protective of his memories of Gladys. But after his death, friends who'd heard the story shared it in interviews and biographies. Vernon Presley, Elvis's father, confirmed the story in a 1979 interview. Elvis did perform for Gladys that last night, Vernon said. I heard him from upstairs. He sang for her for hours. When he came up to bed, he told me it was the most important show of his life. He didn't know she'd be gone the next day, but somehow, I think part of him did know. That's why he gave her everything that night. The story resonated with Elvis fans because it showed a side of Elvis that the public rarely saw. Not the hip-swiveling rebel or the movie star or the Vegas showman, but a son who loved his mother, who wanted to give her one last gift before he had to leave. It also highlighted something fundamental about Elvis's relationship with performance. For him, music was never just entertainment. It was communication, connection, love made audible. And the most meaningful performance of his career wasn't broadcast to millions or recorded for posterity. It was sung in a living room, late at night, for the one person whose opinion mattered most. Elvis performed for massive crowds throughout his career. He made hit records and successful movies. He became one of the most famous people who ever lived. But the dress rehearsal only one person saw, the private concert for his mother on the last night they'd spend together. That was the performance that mattered most. That was the show he'd have traded all his fame and success to do again, one more time, for the woman who'd given him life and love and the courage to share his voice with the world. The final performance Gladys Presley saw wasn't on television or in an arena. It was her son, in their home, singing just for her. And in that intimate moment, Elvis was exactly what he'd always wanted to be. Gladys's boy, making his mama proud, using the gift she'd nurtured to bring joy to the person he loved most.